Right, okay, so we're back to Pontins Prestatyn after the shock news that it was closing. It literally, I think it was 2 days ago, we got a notification on the local Facebook site saying that the park is shut with immediate effect. No explanation why. There is a lot of speculation going around locally about them housing asylum seekers here. Apparently that has been squashed by the government, suggesting that's not the case. Whether or not it needs to be in the future, I mean, it's a massive site, is yet to be seen. It did happen in Hilton in Conway. It's sad. I mean, regardless of what you think of the park, it's been open here for over 50 years. And after we visited last time, I think was it August, for the On the Buses tour, which was filmed here. Holiday on the Buses was filmed here. They actually had started doing some extra work on the park. So the roller disco area and the skate park area, the tent area there in the distance, which has been that's been a state for about 4 years where it was unusable. They actually fixed it, and there was people that have been on the site and they've told me about it. I mean, look, game zone, 10 till 8, £10 for 3 hours. So they were advertising stuff. It's quite crazy. Also, the plaque, you can actually see here, there's a plaque for the On the Buses memorial plaque, and it's gone. Now hopefully it's been taken down and put somewhere safe. If it's been stolen, I mean, it's just insult on top of insult, isn't it, really? So yeah, I mean, there's nothing going on there. There is a couple of cars about. Whether or not in the future we can get access or we can find out what's going on. But for those who basically... Oh, and the bungalow. Yeah, I forgot about that. They actually had a bungalow, and that's all sighted off as well. So whether or not that'll come up for sale, because they were doing holidays in that bungalow. So we're going to take a walk around the side of the building and see what we can see. So I've just noticed, I was aware of it, but they're advertising there the new Pontins, 2011. That's when the Britannia Group bought it, as Pontins was going into administration. Now there is cambersands and the Prestatyn park that are closing. Prestatyn Park is huge, massive, and obviously it's got like the historical references where most of the buildings are still the same as they were when Holiday on the Buses were filmed here. The Southport camp isn't half as big, but I suppose that's the closest one, so that'll be where people will be going. People have had refunds and whatnot for the holidays they'd booked here. So I'm assuming this is just staff collecting their items, but you never know, security staff isn't on, so it is a shame. They've lost, literally the staff didn't have a clue. I think they found out about a week ago something was going on, and they've lost all their jobs just before Christmas. It's a hell of a shame. I'm going to hold that above these railings, because these railings knock me sick. I'm trying to film as I'm going along. So yeah, I mean, this has been staff here that have been working years and years and years. I'm talking like, over a decade, and unfortunately they've all been made redundant. So you can see the tent thing in the background. So that's where the roller disco thing and the skate park has been redone, and behind it is the restaurant and pool area, along with all of the accommodation. Now, as we were saying last time we were here, the actual venue itself is huge, and it holds massive events, dance events. It used to host the snooker, it used to host the darts, but the dance events are still on, and they're absolutely gutted because they weren't given any notification of it closing, and this is how they found out, and they've all arranged it. They've taken ticket payments and all sorts, so it's come as a big shock. On top of that, you have yearly dance troupes. Like Morris dancers. I'm not going to pretend I know all the different types of dance, but there was Morris dancers here. There's like cheerleaders, all youth teams and whatnot. They all come here, celebrate, compete, and the place is absolutely rammed with them. So, I mean, them on their own, they're going to have to find somewhere else to be hosted. Nobody about. Even down to like our son's football. All the local teams play in a league, and at the end of the season they host for the winners and things like that. And this is going back years ago, because my son's 21 now, well 21 in January. They had Razor Ruddock here giving out giving out the trophies and whatnot. So it doesn't just affect the holiday makers that actually come here, and there are a lot. I'm talking thousands upon thousands. I mean, we have it's a short, I haven't put it on yet, back in the peak season, through the holiday season, and I have never, and I've in all my life never seen such a crowd of people turn up. I'd have to put it on for you to see it, but obviously, but you'd never ever in your wildest dreams think there's that many people queuing to come to Pontins. I mean, it has got a bad reputation. It definitely has had a bad reputation. But in general, it's for things like cleaning, whilst very important, and maintenance. Now, these are things that can be rectified. You know, they're not an issue that would condemn somewhere to like, nope, that's it, we need to sell up. It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre, and they're not likely to sell up for nothing. You know, I mean, they were making money, so, and for 2 parks to close as well, it is a bit suspicious. I mean, it's either going to be turned into local opinion, a super park from something, you know, like one of the local investors buy it and turn it into some form of super caravan park to rival, because where it is, and it's situated on the beach pretty much, or housing the asylum seekers. I mean, there is, as you can see, they're all self-contained units. There is a lot of them, and in honesty, we're not open over the winter anyway, so it is a possibility. Well, not open in the winter. Another suggestion was for a super prison. Oh, and again, I hope not. I mean, I know everywhere people have to go places. They're trying to find homes for these asylum seekers. They're trying to find, the prisons are jammed. But it literally, this, for all the people that are complaining about the place, saying, oh, it's about time, it's going to have a huge impact on the economy, our economy here. Because you're talking thousands upon thousands of people here every single week. And they've been coming for years after years after years after years, because the accommodation is flipping heck. You cook yourself. I can't think of the word, because you cook yourself and whatnot here. A lot of people nip into Tesco's, the local shops, pick up their bits, come and cook their meals. I mean, they do have on-site restaurant, on-site food, but in general, that is what people do. If they're not nipping to Tesco's, they still, they still have a good look around and spend in the area while they're here. That's not going to be happening. That's going to be massive. It's going to make a massive difference. The staff on their own not getting, you're talking 90 odd staff, I think it is. Never mind who they bring in when their staff, I know they bring in extra cleaners, because when the park is full, they just don't have the capacity for it all. So, that again. These ones are the ones the Beaches bought, so I think they're going to remain as they were. Beaches Hotel here. But yeah, it's the same with a lot of things at the minute, isn't it? Or a huge house and estate, that was another thing. And again, people need places to live, completely understand that, but I'm sure it's going to be the same everywhere. But around here, you can't get a doctor's appointment, you can't get a dentist appointment, and the A&E waits are 16 hours. We can't afford to bring more people in. Plain and simple. You've got a house, that's fine, build all these houses for people, but we've then got to be able to support them all, and we can't support the ones that are living here. So it'd be bittersweet. I mean, it is run down, there's no words about it. There are definitely massive improvements that could be made to it, and it's just a shame. I mean, we won't find out, I suppose, until what happens. Just to give you an idea of how big the area is, I mean, all the way down there in the distance, they're all apartments. The actual venue inside holds, I think it's 3,500 people. That's just the entertainment venue. The place is huge, absolutely huge. So we'll take a walk down the back. They don't want you really to drive in, but they don't actually seem to want you to walk this way. But never mind. We'll see. It's only onto a field that backs, and you're not actually getting onto the land. Just to give you an idea, I mean, if you've been on the vlog beforehand, you would have seen us on here. But block after block after block after block. Now, Spud has, which I'll link onto the video, has got an aerial view shot of the park from this summer, I think it was, and you'll get an idea of the magnitude of the place then. But yeah, we were hoping when we saw that the roller disco part had they'd actually fixed it. We thought that we were hoping we were going to spend some money on the place and actually, bring it up to date. Well, not necessarily bring it up to date in the fact of entertainment, because apparently the entertainment on here is fabulous. That's the people who stay here never have anything to complain about the entertainment. So they obviously do what they do well, and in honesty, the state of the park, you would assume that would put people off, but it didn't. I mean, if anything, it brought extra people. The amount of YouTube videos they are with slating the places. I think that was the only reason they actually came to stay here, and it wasn't hard to pick up on faults, which is why actually it led us to do our vlog and trying to find the positives, because it's so easy to pick faults at places, but obviously there was a need for the park like this. Well, not necessarily like this, but this sort of holiday, because there were so many people who came here. And what you did see a lot of, because they do they do cheap holidays. I think they were running them at one point for like £49 for 3 days or something like that, 3 nights. Where the hell can you stay for £49? And the thing is, that might have been these people's only holiday. You know, if that's the sort of money people have got, then where does that leave them then? They could get the train quite easily here. There's a beach, which is obviously, I said in the last, it's free. You don't need to spend anything to go to the beach. They've got the football post-ups. You play football on the park. You know, it'd be old-fashioned fun, but people did do it. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of wrong-uns. You know. I mean, they were dishing out plastic cups for a reason. They don't give you glasses. Everything was in plastic cups. And I think there was a pretty good reason for that. And there was quite a bit of trouble associated with the park. But, I mean, there's quite a bit of trouble everywhere you go. It just so happens with this park being massive, it had quite a few on at the one point. So, yeah. It would be nice try and get a bit more information on what's going to happen with the site. I mean, look, we're walking and walking and walking. We're still not back. Here are the last load of chalets, and they go all the way around. You can see rooftop after rooftop after rooftop. You know, so I'm going to say how close we are to the beach. The buildings back there in the foreground, in the background, they are on the promenade. These houses that are here, they are across the road from the promenade. There's no buildings in front of them. They're basically on the land side of the promenade, if that makes sense. The beaches hotel you can see directly in front, the big building there, that is on the promenade. So, you know, when you were looking at like paying £49 for 2-3 nights and you're a stone's throw away from the beach, there's not many places that can actually offer that sort of accommodation, whether the accommodation was basic or not. And when we've stayed in some hotels in the past, I mean, admittedly, I like a Travelodge, I like a Premier Inn, I like a Holiday Inn Express. They are not the most jazzy of hotels, but that is good, because we've stayed in a couple of hotels in the past where, you know, they're a highly rated hotel. They've got all these plush luxuries and ornaments and chintz in the room. Ugh. And it is just a dust fest. They literally, the more you put into somewhere, the harder it is to bloody clean. So, you know, no thank you. I'll take basic and clean. Either way, I've got to clean it anyway, but basic and clean is absolutely fine by me. I've no problem with that whatsoever. These weren't the cleanest, although, to be fair, after watching quite a few YouTube videos from other people, they showed like the ones early on, like, oh, look at this and disgusting that. And the more recent ones, I mean, there's still the chairs everywhere, and they still had rubbish that really could have done with taken to the skip and the skip being gone. But the actual rooms themselves weren't that bad, and a lot of them had brand new bedding for this season, or last season, I forget which one it was. So they had a new manager, so they were putting things into place. They just needed to be a bit more on the ball. Like from what we saw whilst we were here, the staff they employ, they're either not trained to do things as part of their tasks for the day, or they're not, how do I say it, they're not people who take the initiative. So for example, whilst lovely and friendly, the bar staff stood behind the bar. Let's say the Queen Vic, because the Queen Vic's more, it's enclosed, so you know who's in there, yeah? So the Queen Vic probably had, at one point, 4 customers in it. Myself and Spud being 2 of them. Chairs were all pulled out over the place, and it looked like it needed a bloody good hoover. We'd purchased our drinks. The other people happily drinking, playing pool. Bar staff stood or sat behind bar on their phone. Now, they're getting paid for doing that. They're getting paid whether they're working or they're stood on their phone. To me, it wouldn't take 5 minutes to come out of there, wipe some tables down till someone needed serving, move some chairs, get out the hoover. Done. It hadn't been busy anyway, so you know it's not likely it would have been filled up again within the next couple of hours. But that's how we kind of found it, you know. You'd have staff walking past rubbish when they could have just as easily picked it up. That bit of rubbish would have been gone. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the calibre for a lot of people at the minute, isn't it? They don't, that sounds awful, but they don't want to work. They want the money, but they don't want to work. But ways of the world, that's not everybody, I suppose. Right, so as more unveils, we will be back. For anyone who's also interested, I'll do a little segment on it. It's about the sea aquarium in Rhyl. I mean, we want to keep you all coming here for your holidays, but yeah, I'm going to have to find some bits for you to do, let's put it that way. Right, okay. On a better note, me and Spud are not feeling as fatigued, so hopefully that means more vlogs coming your way. We've got one due from Blackpool. We managed to do in the storm. I unfortunately had a fall. Give yourself quite a nasty knock. So hence the delay on putting that on. But anyways, onwards and upwards. It's very, very cold. But we don't actually mind this weather, because as long as you're wrapped up and walking fast enough, it's not wet. It's actually quite pleasant. So, bar, you know, not being able to feel my fingers out, like they've gone purple. So, I think we'll cut it short there. Hope you guys are all okay. Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you want to, of course. It's absolutely free, and I hate that saying, so I won't be saying that again. Okie doke. See you later. Bye.